Hi there, this is Chris from MoneyHub, and this is a video explaining Prospa Business Loans. So Prospa's been operating in New Zealand for quite a few years now. They're strictly a lender to businesses, which means they don't do personal loans or car loans or debt consolidation loans or anything like that for personal needs. And most people use them for working capital needs, or also, buying inventory, paying off other debt, but also, to expand their business. So whatever your needs are, make sure, Prosper is right for you by filling out the information that they require. And that's kind of like a starting point. Sometimes people are vague with what they need the lending for, or what they need the money for. That consequently means that the loans can't be assessed properly, or it becomes quite problematic. So whatever your needs are, please be upfront with Prosper or any application that you make for business lending to make sure that you're getting suitable finance, because otherwise things can go wrong quite quickly, which becomes very expensive and very risky. So just as a background, Prosper is a dedicated lender, as I said. They offer really their primary product is the small business loan, and these small business loans are between $5,000 and $100,000, and they also offer the back to business loan for growth opportunities, and those loans range from $100,000 to $300,000. The fees for both loans are 2.5% of the 2.5% of the balance drawn down. So, for example, if you're approved for $100,000, you draw down $100,000, then you'll pay $2,500, which is 2.5% of that. That's only a one-off fee for the duration of the loan. Should you renew the loan or extend it later on, there will be a further fee, and of course the interest rate that's fixed as well, and that will be provided to you when your loan, or if your loan is successful. Personal guarantees, this is really important. So they say that for loans up to $150,000, no security asset is required, but for every loan they do require a personal guarantee. So while the business may not be liable per se for any non-payment, you personally will be, as the director of the business or the owner of the business, or both. So please be very, very conscious of that, because it is very, very problematic that should you be unable to pay your business loan, then Prosper, just like any business lender would with a personal guarantee, they can come after you, and they will come after you, and that's when things get expensive and very, very stressful. So just as a background, their lending process is quite straightforward. They look at all data points. They look at the turnover, profit and loss, business size, things like that. Nothing too crazy, and just general information. And then they'll make an assessment, usually within 24 hours. And the more information that you can provide, then obviously the faster that will move, so they don't have to come back and ask for more things. There has been some issues over in Australia. I want to be specifically clear on this, around some of the terms and some of the fees, but that has been, and that was over 4 years ago now. And certainly what's happened within Australia has been learnt from, I believe, and what media stories sort of suggest. And things in New Zealand are much more developed than the early days. With any business lending, of course, there will always be fees, there will always be risks, and Prosper, as a young company itself, has, it seems, learned from that. But of course, if you don't understand anything in any loan agreement or any a part of the application process, please do ask them, because that's the only way you can be comfortable with what's happening. And making sure that you understand the repayment terms is very, very critical, because it could be weekly, it could be monthly, it could be fortnightly. You just need to be 100% comfortable with what's happening. What I've put together is, we've got a separate video to comparing business loans, which is worth watching, and we also have an associated guide. The reason is because you may get an interest rate and an offer with Prosper, but how does it compare to others? So it's definitely worth comparing the market. Free to do so, just so that you make sure that you're getting the best deal for your business. Now, as we previously said, they're looking for small businesses looking between $500,000 and $300,000. It depends if you're on the small business loan or the back to business loan. You need to be a New Zealand citizen or a permanent resident. You need to be at least 18 years old. Plus, you also need to demonstrate at least 6 months of trading. Now, there's no requirement for turnover per month or per year or anything like that, but it's definitely something that they will look at when you provide your financial statements. They need to be sure that, like any business lender, what you borrow you can actually pay back, and what you can use the loan for is cash flow management, business renovations, marketing, purchasing inventory, new equipment, and just general working capital, but you can't use it for personal purposes. Now, how long does it take to get the money? Should you be approved, then you'll be able to get it the following business day, as long as the approval comes before 4 p.m. But generally, these loan applications are processed quite quickly. It all just comes down, as I previously said, to the documents. Now, Prospa claims that you should be able to complete the application within 5 to 10 minutes. That's probably correct based on the research that we've done. You just have to get all your documents ready in advance, and it is flexible with your repayments. And while the fees can be high if you miss a default, there is also this is a shortcoming of Prospa. Should you want to repay early, there will be fees for that as well, and that's that's certainly worth noticing, and and taking account of, should you just want to be able to repay, should you get a flurry of debtors paying you and just freeing up some working capital, then if you wanted to repay the loan, there would be a fee for that. And make sure, as I previously said, you compare the offer with other offers, because that's really just the only way to move forward, and make sure you've got the best deal. Having the best chance of success, really, as I said at the start of the video, you have to be completely honest, complete every section, share the bank data, and make sure your numbers are up to date. We strongly suggest going through the guide to business loans. This has a lot more information that you can delve into, and it's going to talk about the types of business loans, the pros and cons in general, and as well as alternatives, which is very important, as well as also frequently asked questions, and we've got videos to help you there. We just want to make sure, because business lending can, unfortunately, I have to use the word, contaminate your personal life should loans not be repaid. It's really, really important to make sure you understand all the risks, because if it's too risky or not affordable, then probably the lender won't go ahead with you, but also you shouldn't either, or strongly take legal advice and advice from your accountant. You've got to be aware what the long-term costs are. Even if they're short-term loans, people have been bankrupted by their lenders. If I just touch on, just before this video concludes, I'll touch on an article from an excellent website called Business Desk. This is owned by the New Zealand Herald, and it talks about another lender, BizCap, but it also does talk about Prospa. And basically the summary of this is a whole bunch of people taking out loans, not being able to repay them, and then administrators being called in to take over the business, and basically people lose control of their business then, because this loan, the business loan that was taken out, becomes the biggest debt, and the business can be wound up. So, and then if there's still money owing, then there's a personal guarantee to be settled, and that's when lenders can come after any personal property that you have, which becomes highly problematic. So while we can't actually link to this very useful summary article below, because of the nature of it being copyrighted, it's certainly something which I do, the sort of summary of it is, please be very careful, and please don't take out business loans without doing proper due diligence. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, do let me know. You can leave a comment down below in the section. As I said, you can write to us. We're very, very focused on making sure our guides are as comprehensive as possible. So if anything you want to know, please, this will help us improve our existing guides, so it'll be certainly appreciated. Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you if you have any questions.